All right, so I am going to be doing a video every morning on my way to work talking about what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, to show people like we're all in this together. Like, I don't think anyone is better than anyone. But I think we do get these stories in our mind that this person is better than us, or that we're better than other people. Like, it goes both ways. And Trump. Yeah, exactly. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. You guys are no more bullshit. Anyway, okay, I'm getting distracted by a Trump sign. Anyway, so maybe I should just put videos out and just suck. Just not be afraid to suck. Just put out everything. Because eventually, Emily, you will get better. Alright, so lately, it's hard. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons to this video. One, I want to show people, like, I want to be vulnerable with people. Like, I want to show my vulnerability and tell, the world about what is happening inside my heart. Because I don't think as a society, or really as the world, we talk about emotions and talk about what we're feeling, what we're going through. Like, we tend to just do. Like, do. And like, you gotta pause and reflect. So I think my morning drives are going to be practice of being more vulnerable, practice knowing how I'm feeling, and practice connecting with people and being real. Like, being real with myself and being real with others. That is all I want. Practice. And that's it. Like, haters are gonna hate, I know. And it's scary to put myself out there and to show, like, what is in my heart. Because people are gonna want to trample on it. I mean, because the thing is though, I'm learning that if people are trying to trample on someone's heart, or not compliment, cut them down, like, really, they're saying that to themselves. Like, if someone is thinking like, Emily, you're full of shit, you don't have what it takes, guess what? That's what I say to myself. Like, I tell myself I'm full of shit. I tell myself that I'm not good enough, that I have nothing worthwhile giving to the earth. I have nothing worthwhile giving to someone, so why try? That is literally what I tell myself. That's literally what I'm feeling. And I'm realizing that we all have feelings. Like, and they're all pretty much the same. Like, it goes down to very basic feelings. And I would be curious as to know, like, how many base lies that we tell ourselves. Like, I am not enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not valuable. I'm not contributing. I am alone. Like, all those dark, negative emotions, like those core, that get us to the core of what makes us, like, it's pretty much all the same, I think. I mean, that's my understanding. If someone has a different experience of it, please, like, let me know. Nicely. You know, because I'm still human. I still, you know, want to be treated with respect, just like other people want to be treated with respect. I try to treat other people with respect. I don't always succeed because my stories come up. You know, if someone is saying I did something wrong, you know, all of a sudden, like, my story of, you know, I'm not good enough, or, you know, I'm not worthy of that wouldn't be really I am worthy. It's more, yeah, I wasn't enough for this project, or I wasn't enough for this. I didn't understand enough. Probably that would be the more truth. I didn't understand enough. But then, like, so now that I'm seeing outside my story, like, oh, what I was going to say before. Okay. I'm kind of all over the place, and this is terrible. But it's my first video, so what do you expect? Anyway, I am thinking, so I lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, so feelings. So my theory is, and I've got a lot of what I'm talking about from Brené Brown. I have to contribute basically everything that I'm saying to her, because she has given me a lot to think about. I recently discovered her on Netflix, and then I watched a couple other videos, and I'm reading her book right now. And I mean, along with a couple other people that, you know, that influenced me. But I think she's influenced me the most right now, because Brené, she talks about how, and this, you know, I might butcher it, but how do I want to say this? What am I saying? See, I start talking and my mind goes blank. Like, I can think about everything, but when I go to talk about it, like, my mind kind of goes blank and it goes. Does anyone else get that? Anyway, so I guess what I'm going to say is just check out Brené Brown, because I can't do her justice. I can't do her work justice. I can only talk about what it meant to me. And what she was saying how we all have a shitty first draft. And that made so complete sense. Like, you know how, like, you know, when, let's say your partner, your spouse, or your partner, you know, asks you to do something, or, you know, tells you, like, criticizes you. Maybe not, you know, maybe not even meanly, just, you know, like, you know, the toilet, there was pee still left, or there was, you know, you got pee on the toilet. That triggers our 5-year-old self. I think we all have a 5-year-old self. And I think a lot of times we deny our 5-year-old self. Like, so when something happens that makes us uncomfortable or makes us face ourselves, we become a 5-year-old. Really, we do. Like, our feelings and our emotions is no different than a 5-year-old. They have the same emotions as we do. And so I'm a mother of, I have 2 kids under the age of 5. And this, like, totally struck with me, because they have so many emotions. And the thing is I am learning about how to be a mother, how to be compassionate. And I realized that I was struggling for the first, you know, couple years, and with depression. The last, ever since I had my youngest, DJ, he's a year, I've been struggling with major depression. And And I think it has to do with I haven't been compassionate towards myself. I haven't been compassionate towards my 5-year-old self. So how can I be compassionate to my kids? And I realize that, and it's still one of my stories. Like, I don't feel good enough to be a mom. I make lots of mistakes. I mean, just all the mistakes that I think I make, like, or that I make, and I'm trying really hard. Not trying really hard, because I'm stop trying. No more trying in my book. Like, it's either doing or not doing. So, or becoming. I am becoming a better mom. And isn't that the point? Like, isn't that really the point? Just trying to be a better person? Well, no, that's not the point. That's not the point. You want to be a nice person, but that's not the point of life. No, someone who says that that's surface stuff still. It's still surface stuff, because even if you're nice to someone, you can still treat yourself like crap. Like, I think the key to life, just the key to life is, I think we can't ignore our 5-year-old self. And guess what? When a 5-year-old, or, well, my 3-year-old, when she gets upset about something, she is really upset. Like, her whole heart into her crying. Like, she's so passionate. I love it. But she gets upset, and then soon something happens, and she's back to being fine. Like, distracted or talk, like, I talk with her, tell her, like, why it happened. Dude, can you move over? Thank you. See, that wasn't nice. Well, he didn't hear me, so I guess it wasn't not nice. It wasn't. Anyway. And I think, one, we either try to ignore our 5-year-old self, or 2, we give completely into our 5-year-old self. I think there's a balance. I think what needs to happen, how we're going to solve this world, is give our 5-year-old attention self. Come with it. Come to your 5-year-old self with compassion, but not too seriously. Like I know my 5-year-old self is gonna be feeling like horrible, but I know it's not gonna last. Like, and because I know it's not gonna last, I can think to myself clearly, like, what is going to help the situation? Like, what's going to help my 5-year-old self be better? So, oversized load. I hate oversized loads. I guess I don't hate them. I try not to hate anything. It makes me uncomfortable. There we go. It makes me uncomfortable. And discomfort does not equal a bad thing. Like, that truck, that oversized truck, is bringing something to someone who needs something. So why should I hate it because it makes me discomfort, or like makes me uncomfortable? Because it's like, look at this. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you just have to laugh at your 5-year-old self. So the other day, I had like probably a complete breakdown. I had a breakdown. I beat up my car because I was really mad at it because the back door wasn't opening and we had just bought the car and the check engine light is on and my gas tank is leaking and I just got really mad, like angry. And usually when I'm angry, I stuff it down. Like because I don't want to disappoint anyone. I don't want to upset anyone. I just don't want to deal with it. And the thing is I was completely alone. I was completely alone. I don't think I've ever been this angry while I've been by myself. And since I was by myself, I was able to completely just let go. Like, I beat up my car, which I'm not suggesting you do. But, like, the back door wouldn't open, and that just became so big in my mind that I just snapped, and I beat up my car. I apologized later. I cleaned it all up. I cleaned up my footprints, and, you know, the car is getting me to where I need to go every day. And even though it's not perfect, it's still getting me to where I need to be. And I'm grateful for my car. I am. Anyway, so I beat up my car and I just broke down. Like, I sobbed for 10 minutes. And then tried to open up my door again, or the back door again, with trying a couple other things. And it wouldn't open again. So I guess I still had some more anger in me. And I beat up my car again. And then I sobbed for 10 minutes again. And I realized that day that bad feelings are not bad. They're just feelings or emotions. We all feel anger. We all feel jealousy. We all feel like we're not enough. And those feelings are symptoms of our biggest lies. Like me, my mom died when I was 6. She died in a car accident. And you know, a 5-year-old, well, 6-year-old in this case, 6-year-old can't process that. I don't think there's any way a 6-year-old can process their mom dying. And I've touched it a little growing up. I've touched it here and there, just the grief. The grief of not having a mom growing up. You know, you're the one person in your life when you're little who is supposed to be there for you, that rock. Well, she got taken. That led me to a lot of stories about myself. And I think that one of the big stories that I realized myself is because something that Brene Brown said, I have to say this before I say this one thing. She said something in one of of her talks, and maybe she didn't say it exactly, but this is what I took away from it. She said 5-year-olds like are irrational. They're irrational. Like, their thinking is themselves. Like, they are thinking about themselves, and they are thinking about, like, I caused this. And I think one of my biggest lies that I tell myself, or that my 5-year-old believed, is that I did something to cause that. Something in my actions caused Mom to get in that car accident. Because what does my 5-year-old self know? Like, all of a sudden she wasn't there, and it's something I must have done. And I think I've lived my whole life trying to please other people, trying to make them depend on me, trying to be perfect, trying to be everything and everyone to everyone. And because if I didn't, if I don't make other people feel happy or make other people feel like they need me, then they'll leave. Because I wasn't enough to keep my mom around. And it's taking me, I'm 30 now, it's taking me 24 years to realize this. And it's not that it's true. It's not, I know rationally I didn't cause my mom's death. I didn't cause the accident. I didn't cause anything with that. It's just life. But I think I had to acknowledge that. I had to acknowledge how that made me feel. And that day with a car, I think I cried more than I've cried in, actually, I don't know if I ever remember crying that much, because I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But so that day that I was able to, sorry about the sun. I didn't think about the sun. What was I saying? So rationally I know, but I had to address that irrational thought, my irrational 5-year-old self. I had to, and you know what? Like, I was able to see that when I finally admitted that I felt like that. I saw my 5-year-old self, my 6-year-old self, for what she really was. 5 years old. She doesn't know. 5-year-old Emily does not know any better. And she's going to react out of that. And instead of just joining in the fray, I have to be that strong person for her. I have to tell her I love her. I have to scoop her up and cuddle with her and love her and play with her. And I don't think we do that enough with each other. Or not with each other, with ourselves. We don't think about our 5-year-old self or the age, when you've got that first big hurt. I was so afraid to go back there. I mean, I knew, like, my rational adult self knew, like, I grieved, and there's, and I felt, and I've grieved over the years. I mean, I haven't just been stoic, stone cold about it, I talk about it, but like I was telling my husband, there's a difference between feeling or understanding what happened and really feeling it. And I think when we grow up, we rationalize it. Rationalize our biggest hurt, rationalize it or play the victim card, that happened to me, that happened to me. I can't do anything about it. Like, the world is out to get me, which, trust me, I've been there. Like, I just came from victimhood. And I probably will go back into victimhood at some point. I would like to think I don't. I wouldn't. But we don't want to face ourselves. We don't want to face our hurt. We don't want to face our 5-year-old self. Excuse me. And I think that's why I just had a thought and I lost it. I think I don't know. I lost my thought. I'm sorry. So I think that's my thought for today. I think to get in touch with your 5-year-old self, or whatever age you were when you had that biggest hurt, your big hurt. You know what it is. Come on. You need to. No one needs to do anything, really. I mean, it's all what we make of life. If people are going to do what they want to do. And I know that sounds pessimistic, but it's really not. It's just, it's an acceptance. It's not, people are going to do what they're going to do. But no, it's more like we all have our own stories in our heads. We all have the stories of we're not good enough, we're not worthy. Something we did caused something. It's not that case. But we walk around with it like it is. And that's what I mean. People are going to do what they're going to do because they have their stories. They're holding on to that. And people react the way they react because that's what they've been taught. They have their own shit that they're trying to cover up. They're trying to have they have their own shit that triggers them. Everyone has their own trigger. I have to work really hard, when someone says something that doesn't jive with what I think, like I want to just, but no, it's what they think. That's it. Like, that's their story. Someone is making you feel bad at work, like making you think you're not doing a good job. Are you doing a good job? That's like, you have to, two things. Are you doing a good job? Like, really do inventory. Could you have done better? Maybe, maybe not. And two, that's their story as well. Like, if, if they don't think you're doing enough, odds are they don't think they are doing enough. And they're taking their story and putting it on you. And you don't have to accept that story. You can just shield it. And actually, speaking of shields, and this will be my last thought for today, I've been thinking about, I think I've also been using my stories to drag me down. Like mom's death makes me feel all those feelings that I just shared with you. People are going to leave if I don't behave exactly, and but the thing is I was thinking, I think instead of having it as a weight, I think I'm going to heave it in front of me and use it as a shield as I plunge my way into the world. I am Emily Grace Bottle Harris. My mom died when I was 6. And nothing anybody throws at me can be harder than that. So guess what, world? Bring it on.